happiness. Golden wings reminds us that we can't solve a problem by condemning it. Rather, use your God-given abilities to rise above and create solutions by looking from a higher perspective. This means embracing all situations as gifts. Keep your vibration high by valuing every experience from that perspective. Ask questions and miraculous answers will come to you. Okay, so along with that, as I was reading it, I was reminded that I pulled the Ideas and Inspiration card. So this is a message, Tricia, to remember to keep your vibration high, and I know you know what I'm talking about with that, to keep thoughts of positive feelings. You know, if you start to worry or feel anxious or feel anything less than total appreciation, love, happiness, gratitude, all those things at the top of the vibrational chart, just remember that if you listen to music or do something fun you enjoy. I highly recommend spiritual practices. I highly recommend, formal ones. And there's also, the spiritual practice of dancing, singing. Being joyful is a spiritual practice. Do you understand?
Oh, absolutely.
Great. And that in that place, you got the Ideas and Inspirations card. So the message is about remembering that your true self is never affected by the outside world, number one, okay? So you remember, see anything happening on the outside world and you start to feel anything that's upsetting on any level, just remember that you can go ahead and do that, but if you decide to, again, what this card says is value every experience, just by doing that, you're going to get a higher vibe, and from the higher vibe, you're going to be able to tune into the higher frequencies. That's really how I do my work. I say my prayer and I set my intention, but if I'm arguing with someone or I'm upset about something, I can't get the information. I could not do a good reading if I'm in that state. You understand?
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. So whatever we need to do to feel those positive, turn those, neutralize, alchemize, transmute those energies, you'll be right back in that great place of hearing the ideas and inspiration. And then I hear that your prayers and questions are being answered by synchronistic events. Notice them in order for their flow. So that's another message. So once you're in that good state, you're going to see doors open. You're going to see things happening more than once. You know what I mean by synchronicity?
Yeah, it's multiple things occurring. So it's a bright light going off that I will understand it.
As a sign. It's a sign. Numbers. I've learned to intentionally ask for synchronicities, just to share, if you want to use this yourself or anybody listening. Let's see, years ago, one of the funny ones I came up with when I first heard about doing that, you could do this, is I came up with this word that was you would barely ever hear. The word was fledgling. Do you hear fledgling a lot in conversations?
No, I don't.
No. That's why I chose it. So I came up with this little manifestation thing. So it's like, okay, God, Spirit. I said, this is like 5 years ago. I said, I'd like to know, I just started my business. I just created it. I was just learning how to do readings, just learning how to do all this stuff. And I'm like, show me a sign of the word fledgling to show me that, I'm on track with what I'm doing. Well, wouldn't you know?
Oh, that's great.
I read in a book. Then like the next week, was reading this book and the word fledgling was in it. And then I was having a conversation with a really good friend of mine, and she says, well, the fledgling, such and such. And I said, did you just say fledgling? And she's like, yeah.
Oh, that's great.
So
what a great tool. I love that, actually.
Good. So come up with some word that you never hear and watch to see if you hear it. It's really fun. And colors too. I come up with random color combinations. Like the other day I did purple and gold. Purple and yellow. I saw these flowers, then I was on this walk at work, and then I said, okay, God, show me purple and yellow. I looked over to the left, and there was a purple garbage bag with yellow lettering on the lawn of the house I was walking by. And it just wasn't a very popular combination. I started seeing it everywhere. And it's a vibe lifter, so you really can feel the universe talking with you.
Oh, wonderful.
So good. Well, thank you so much for calling in.
Thank you, Ann. I appreciate it.
You're so welcome, and see you online.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.
You have some good
Did I
stories.
tell you about that?
Your numbers and.
Yeah, the purple bag was pretty funny with the yellow letters. Well, good. So let's talk about grounding and anxiety. Realize that, I guess at the basic, the spiritual universe, if you will, they say, fear is an illusion. Nothing real is ever threatened. It doesn't mean that in the world we don't feel these fears and things like that. But if we can just stop and not let it run us and not allow it to paralyze us, let's check the time, then we can pause and not let it grip us. We can pause and actually do some things to work with it even. So I'm being guided to share some different ways to work with fear and anxiety in particular. Some simple things, just walking out. In a few months we won't be able to do this, but walking on the grass with bare feet will help ground you. The earth has tremendous amount of energy. If you look around and you really think about it, the trees, in New England here, they fall off in the winter, they come back in the spring. It's a system that is self-sustaining. It runs, in cycles. Nothing ever really dies. The flowers, the perennials, everything kind of hibernates but comes back. So nature, I wouldn't underestimate the power of nature to connect with if you're feeling anxious or fearful. Nature is a place where there's much divine perfection. If you were really to look close up, some kind of camera, you could see, flowers blossom, and it's it's miraculous. It really is. So nature is a place in our busy world where if we take a walk, or I actually reach out and touch a tree trunk from time to time when I'm on my break at work. I have a job where it's very physically demanding, mentally demanding, emotionally demanding, and I need to ground myself sometimes throughout the day. Kind of laughing about the tree hugger thing, but there's really something to be said for great tree energy. So if you can hang out near a tree, it's really not as simplistic as it may sound. Let me see what else can come through. So connecting with the energy of the earth, being out in the earth can be very relaxing for people. It's not a quick fix. There's still our emotional body that we have to deal with. We have to learn to work on our emotional states and maybe question or challenge some of these things that have been running us. And it's not always easy to do. Like working with Dana today, I really love doing this work because it's saved my life to be able to work in transformation and to release a lot of the things that have held me back most of my life. I'm 47 years old. I didn't really come to, if you will, till around 40. I used to let everything under the sun run me, upset me. I felt like I had no power, that others' opinions were more popular or worthy than my own. So it took a great deal of work, if you will, to get out of all of that. But I know it can be done, and I really live in a place of true freedom and joy most of the time, more often than not. And you say it's worth the work to really question and challenge. If you feel less than great every day, it's a good idea to just be really understanding with yourself, have unconditional love for yourself, and just know you're doing the best you can. Work with somebody if you have a good mentor, but everybody deserves to be happy and to be free, in my opinion. So there is a lot of anxiety in the world right now. I'm bringing anxiety up again. See what else I can get on it. One thing Dana mentioned, I think, and one thing that's worked for me whenever those anxious feelings creep in, it's really helpful to take action. Even getting out a pen and paper, like writing down 5 concrete things, like not dismissing your anxiety, but really exploring it. See, what am I anxious about? What am I fearful about? If I lose my job or if such and such happens. I think a lot of us run into trouble when we go into denial and, I can't look in that door. I can't even imagine that happening. And then something happens. It's like the rug being pulled out from under us. It's scary. So I think that if you're able to concretely take action, being quiet and still, I talked about last week, ways to access your intuition. Spend some quiet time and allow the divine. You have so much celestial support around you, including your higher self, who knows your highest path, your soul path. This work that I do is not my opinion. I'm able to tune in to another source of really good information to help people. That information helps me, and that information you can get for yourself. And then that's why I call myself the Intuitive Millionaire Coach, is because I like helping people unlock your intuition, because you can do this too.
Ready?
Yeah.
Thank you for calling Intuitive Millionaire Coach Show. What's your name?
Hello.
Hello, what's your name?
Hi, welcome to the show. What's your name?
Alice.
Hi, Alice.
Hi, Alice.
Welcome. Can I give you a spot reading today?
Yes, please do.
You got it. All right. A minute. I pulled some cards for you. You've got divine magic, divine timing, and your soul is a spiritual garden. So let me see what kind of message I can get for you. Have you been waiting on something in particular?
Not really.
Okay. Okay. Because I'm asking about the divine timing cards. So I thought I'd ask if there's anything. Because divine timing often means that you may, think about something in the future and have a little question about it. So you don't have a question about anything to do with that?
No.
Okay. All right. Let me pull one more. All right, Alice. Did you have any particular question? Because I've got some few things coming up.